Alright, we're rolling. I've not done the YouTube thing in a long time. And my ADHD medication is wearing off. So I don't know why I decided to do this right now, but we're just gonna roll with it. I am just going to talk. And it's gonna be fine. We're gonna get through it together. Thank you for tuning in. If you're seeing me for the first time, if you clicked on this and you're like, who's this redhead? My name is Brianna Carmel. I am a DIY musician who does lots of things in the Sacramento music scene all the time. Not all the time, but it consumes most of my life. Today, I'm here to talk about my solo project. Oh, dog wants to be in the video. Frankie! Hi, buddy. Aw, you had a little moment, didn't you? A little stim? That's my dog. He's chill. So my solo project has always just been me. It's been, these days, just me fucking going hard on my ukulele. Ridiculously hard, actually. There's gang vocals on one of my songs. But that kind of changed when I wrote an EP recently. So that's the first thing I'm going to talk about, and then we will move on to other subjects. The first thing I'm going to talk about today, the reason I'm recording a video to update my YouTube audience, is the fact that I have an EP coming out on May 24th. It's called Bree Earned the Power of Self-Respect. The title track has been out. It is the lead single, title track, etc. And that one is a collaboration with my friend Octomammoth. Octomammoth is like a chiptune-esque VGM kind of guy. So that song's been out for a while, but I kind of just want to talk about how the EP as a whole kind of came to be. And yeah, I just let's talk about it. So, as some of you may or may not know, I have been a fan of Tessa Violet's for a very long time. And back in, I think maybe late December, she posted that she was doing a songwriting challenge for January 2024, so like the first month of the year, which was write an album in a month. And she was like, you guys should do it too. Like anyone who sees this, like, do write an album in a month. I'll do Twitch open mic streams. You can be on my stream and meet me kind of virtually and do all that. And I want to clarify a few things. So firstly, I kind of failed at the challenge. The criteria was 12 songs. 12 songs, a full album. I wrote 4 songs just because, like, forcing myself to write every single day, or I don't know, man, that's just not, I have ADHD, that's just not how I jive, I don't know, it was hard. But I did write lyrics down every single time something popped into my head, so that helped a lot. But anyway, so firstly, yeah, I did not complete the challenge, and I also did not go on Tessa's open mic. Around the time I was trying to get on the open mic in her Discord server, it was just around the time that, well, the first time there just wasn't time, and the second time was when the open mics started getting pushed back and then eventually just, like, kind of weren't a thing anymore, which is fine. Like, no grudge to Tessa. She is a very busy lady, and that is valid. So yeah, I don't really know if Tessa knows that this exists. This is not being boosted by Tessa Violet or anything like that. This is just me releasing this by myself. DIY as fuck, as always. And this EP is also the first time in my solo project. Like I was saying earlier, my solo project has always just been me, by myself, jamming it out on my ukulele, sometimes a guitar in the early days, but these days, mostly ukulele. So it's always just been me. And when I was writing these songs, I wasn't really focused on playing them live. I was focused on accomplishing the goal of write as many songs as you possibly can. It doesn't matter if you can play them, they just have to sound cool. So that was kind of the basis I was working from. And with that as my like basis, I kind of started imagining. Actually, the collabs actually started extremely organically with the first song that I started working on. I feel like I cheated a little bit because I started write an album in a month with a song idea already, but I guess it's not cheating because it wasn't a whole song, it was just like the intro. But I wrote this intro and it was me on ukulele, but I thought the way I was playing it would sound very good with like a piano playing it that way. So I recorded myself playing it, posted it to TikTok and Instagram. Editing Bree here, just popping in to clarify that when I posted it, I specifically said in the caption that even though I was playing it on ukulele, I wanted it to be like a piano part ultimately. And then my friend Sarah Raywitch saw it on Instagram, I think, and she said, "I can play that for you." And I said, "Yes, please." And from there I texted my good friend Lucy Broom. She was the one, the mixing engineer for Blooming Heads' debut single, Axis Access. She is one of the most talented musicians I know. And I felt like, so Sarah did the keys for the intro, and then I wrote this whole like middle section and ending, outro, I don't know. I wrote a whole rest of the song. And then I texted Lucy because I was like, hey, I feel like I can hear more things going on, but I don't know what. And I was wondering if you could tell me like what you think you hear going on in the midst of all this. And Lucy was like, oh, I can hear a whole ass band going on, and if you want, I can just play all of it. And I was like, oh, yes, please. That first song that I wrote for the EP is called My True Self, parentheses, stupid, a mess, etc. It's the opening track. It's the first track, track 1, etc. It's available on Bandcamp if you want to go listen to it along with the single. There's also a lyric video here on my YouTube channel if that's easier. And that song is just kind of about like ADHD, autistic type shit, which I haven't really talked about on YouTube. I have on TikTok a lot, but not so much here. I am confirmed by the professionals I see to have ADHD and be on the autism spectrum. Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad I got that figured out finally at 24 years old, which was 2 years ago. But yeah, that song was written during a period when I was kind of figuring out which ADHD meds worked for me and I did not have the right dosage. And I was like, I feel useless. So that's what that song's about. The next couple songs on the EP were written back to back. I don't really remember which one I wrote first. One of them was Bree Earned the Power of Self-Respect, the single, the title track, etc. And the other was a song that I called Fool Me Once, which about my bad relationship history, and specifically my most recent relationship, and I just don't really want to get into it. We're not going to get into it, but that's what Fool Me Once is about. And Bree Earned the Power of Self-Respect is about, like I've said on stage, the best way I can sum up what Bree Earned the Power of Self-Respect, the song, is about, is like generational trauma. Not only that, but the way it like impacted me, like the way it instilled behaviors in me that I had to outgrow for my own safety and sanity, and being kind of like resisted by members of my family for like outgrowing it, which is a really fucking weird thing to say out loud. Holy shit, man. But like, yeah, that's what that song's about. Outgrowing people-pleasing behaviors and such. Outgrowing the fawn response. Real ones know the fawn response. What am I saying, bro? Anyway, so I had those two songs written back to back. I reached out to my friend Octomammoth, who I collaborated with previously on like a Bandcamp exclusive cover that I just did like for fun one day earlier, or no, sometime last year, I think. What is time? Anyway, so I had these two songs that I felt like needed some extra-ness. And I hit up Octomammoth because I thought he would be a good fit. And he was. It was, as you guys can tell from the single, it's great. Beautiful. Wonderful artist. And then I wrote a closing track. And I knew going in, like it was towards the end of January, I knew I was not going to have an album, but I knew that this was probably going to be the last track on the EP. And, oh man, what do I say about this song? It's called 1 Year Later / Born Again. And, oh man, how do I talk about this? So, a few months before Tessa Violet's Write an Album in a Month challenge, there was an album that came out by an artist named Pacing, who I really admire and respect and love very deeply. If you're watching this, Katie, you have a special place in my heart for real. Yeah, so Pacing from San Jose put out an album in October of 2023 called Real Poetry is Always About Plants and Birds and Trees and the Animals and Milk and Honey and Breathing in the Pink. We got it. But real life is behind a screen? Is that part of it? Fuck. Did I fuck it up? Shit. It's funnier. It's funnier if I leave it that way. I'm just gonna leave it that way. Anyway, regardless of the fact that I fucked up the title of that album, I was just so inspired by it, like, sonically. I was like, fuck. I want to make an album like that. And I don't think the EP sounds like Pacing, but know that I was very influenced by Real Poetry by Pacing when writing this album. And I kind of tried to hone that in on this closing track. And on this closing track, I am just kind of reflecting on the past, like, year that I have had. And I don't even know what I can say about that publicly, man. Like, this, if you follow me on Twitter, you know. If you're in the Blooming Heads Discord server, you know. So basically, not only did I try to, like, hone in the Pacing influence in terms of how the song sounded, I also tried to sneak in a few lyrical references in ways that made sense within, like, the context of what I was talking about. And I don't want to spoil anything, so that's probably as much as I'm going to say about it for now. But know that in addition to being, like, an intentional closing track that was written to kind of be a reflection on all the parts of the EP that came before it, it's also kind of a love letter to Pacing, so there you go, Katie. If you're a member of Pacing Music Band Nation, you should comment on this video. Editing Bree popping in once again just to say that I completely neglected to mention while filming this. For some reason I totally spaced. The closing track is another collaboration with my friend Lucy Broom. So get excited about that. It's beautiful, it's acoustic vibes. She killed it. So there I had 4 songs, and then I needed a mixing engineer, and I found one through the DIY Discord server, amazingly enough. It was actually incredible. I was looking for one, and someone had posted literally like a few hours prior looking for free mixing work. Like, I need to add stuff to my portfolio, I will not charge you type thing. And I was like, hi, yes please. Their name is Mike. They're in a band called Toluca Lake. Really solid human. And they not only were super considerate and, like, determined to fulfill my vision, but also the visions of, like, the people that I was working with. It was just a really great experience overall to make this EP. Everyone was just so gracious and kind, and I'm so happy with it. Like, it's honestly one of the coolest things I've ever made, and I truly believe that. So, big love to everyone who made it happen. And now, I get to talk about the fun part. Or at least the part that might be relevant to anyone watching this. So, to promote this EP, I booked my first ever tour. Specifically Sacramento, Stockton, and Berkeley. There are flyers for each show now. None of them have pre-sale tickets, you just show up with money. It'll be May 30th through June 1st. Very short weekender, but I'm excited about it. My partner Zach is going to be touring with me. Octomammoth is also going to be touring with me to play both of our collabs, like both the songs that we worked on together on the EP. So, hi dog. Should be fun. Please come out if you live in, if you're watching this and you live in any of those cities, please come out and see me. It would mean the world to me. I'm sure it would mean the world to my dog as well. So, yeah. That's basically everything. I wanted to talk about my EP and plug the tour at the end, and I think I've done that. Details for each show of the tour can be found at the link in my description, and yeah, that's it. If you watch this all the way through, you're cool, and I like you. Thank you for giving me your time, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, or evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Till next time.